All right, so I think it's time that we as Giants fans start to be a little bit honest with ourselves. Um, Forget whatever bias you have against Daniel Jones. Forget you know your stance on him coming out of the draft a few years ago. Forget the whole shitty offensive line fiasco that's going on or has been going on since he got drafted. Let's just be honest with ourselves and ask ourselves, is he really the answer at quarterback? Um, has he hit his ceiling yet? How perfect of a team does he has to have in order for him to produce? Is he a guy that is just good in one form of system? Is he someone who can lead a rebuilding football team? Um, I don't think so. And it's funny because we talked about the fumbles, we talked about the shitty offensive line that he usually has to work with. Last year, the big thing was if he had enough weapons to throw to, which I don't think is a damn excuse for bad fucking quarterback play, but that's nor here or there. Um, we talked about so much regarding Daniel Jones, but the one thing that we never really discussed, which is a big deal to me because he is playing the position of quarterback, which is one of the most important positions in the game of football. And the one thing we haven't talked about was the fact that he has not played a full season yet, like at all. Like even his first year where he missed the first few games and Eli started, he still got hurt later on that year. He got hurt last year, and thankfully his first year when he got hurt, Eli Manning stepped up and we produced on offense. Why? Because we had a future fucking Hall of Famer step in and play some football. Last year, listen, I know we won against the Seahawks with Colt McCoy, but whatever. We had Colt McCoy step the fuck in. We beat the Seahawks, then got our asses whooped by Cleveland. And then this year, he got hurt against the Cowboys earlier this year. He ended up only missing that second half of that game. Mike Glennon came in and, just stank up the place. And now Mike Glennon is expected to play tomorrow. I don't want to see Mike Glennon, to be honest with you. It's funny because when we signed Mike Glennon, I was saying in the preseason that I really want to see more of Mike Glennon because Daniel Jones can't stay healthy. It's quite obvious right now. We have clearly been a team that has been spoiled with. If there was one thing that Eli was great at, better than anyone else at, was staying healthy, and we clearly missed that fucking trait in our quarterback. Daniel Jones can't stay healthy. So it seems like whoever we bring in to back up Daniel Jones needs to be someone who can produce. And I'm sorry, but obviously you got lucky your first year you had Eli. But then the second and third year, you're relying on Colt McCoy and Mike Glennon. I don't want to have to worry about my second string backup quarterback every damn preseason, every damn offseason, if I have someone who can also play the game of football behind Daniel Jones. No, I don't get me wrong. I want to be able to have a backup quarterback that can play good football if he unfortunately has to come in due to injury. But it should not have to be one of those things where I expect him to play because my quarterback is that bad at staying the fuck healthy. Not to mention this awful offensive line doesn't help, and not getting the running game going also doesn't help. And I don't really know if that's a Saquon Barkley thing. I don't know if it's an offensive line thing. All I know is when Devontae Booker played, Devontae Booker was getting some yardage on the ground. So I don't know what's up with Saquon, but that's not the whole point of this video. The point of this video is, if you really, in conclusion, because this is what I'm going to do. If you want to actually wonder, if you're split on Daniel Jones, okay, throw injuries up in there, okay? With everything you've seen out of Daniel Jones, plus the fact that he cannot seem to play an entire season yet. Is that someone you really want as your quarterback every year going into the season? I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't. I like Daniel Jones as a person. I think he's a very talented dude. I think he's a smart kid. I just don't think he's a quarterback for a rebuilding team. He seems like one of those quarterbacks that needs to have a solid, team around him in order to produce well, Now, about tomorrow's game against the Dolphins, Mike Glennon fucking sucks. And quite frankly, I'd rather see Jake Fromm. At least the thing about seeing Jake Fromm is we don't know what to expect out of Jake Fromm. I mean, Jake Fromm was a top quarterback prospect a few years ago, and he ended up getting drafted by the Bills, and obviously he's never going to see the field with Josh Allen there. So you really don't know what to expect out of Jake Fromm, and that's exciting. Mike Glennon fucking sucks. I'd literally, if it was announced right now that Jake Fromm was playing tomorrow, I wouldn't even be upset. I do not want to see Mike Glennon tomorrow. But it's unfortunate. We're going to have to. And part of the reason is because our quarterback, let's face it, he can't stay healthy. I mean, he ain't much different from the rest of the damn team. The whole fucking squad sucks at staying healthy, to be honest with you.